So basically, you're gonna need three boxes: a black one, another black one, and another black one. Two of them will have JumboCast stickers. The other one will have a Mac Pro sticker. You also need the green bag that has the table, as well as a tripod and a monitor.
So you're gonna want to look for two boxes that have this on it, and one that says Mac Pro. So the first box that has this has a soundboard, it has the headsets, and it also has HDMI's, and it has power cords. The second box that should have the sticker on it, this has cameras, camera chargers, charger for the laptop. Laptop should be in here, which it is. It has mini recorders, which are important for capturing the cameras. Lightning cables, which are also go into the mini recorder. We'll show you that in a second. Am I missing anything? No. And then this is the third box. This is our other computer. This is the Mac Pro. Box says Mac Pro on it. This is our Mac Pro keyboard, mouse, earphones if you need earphones. You didn't bring your own. Power cable for the Mac Pro. And then Daniel brought out the monitor. We have three monitors. The other two are there. One's broken right now. Yeah, but this one should work. And that has its power cord and everything on the back. So what Daniel has done so far is he's plugged in a extension cord that again can be found in that box. Just because we have so much shit, so it's easier to put it here. So Daniel's now going to show you how to get the computer up and going. So that's the power cord. Do you want to show him what the tip of it looks like? It's like that thingy.
And it goes right there.
Goes into that port.
And you see the lights are on.
Yeah. It can be sometimes a little hard to see outside, but it should be fine. And then now Daniel's gonna plug in the monitor. Wires are a bit of a shit show.
So there's two ports. Plug into your power. There's no power that plugs the monitor in, and then HDMI to connect to the actual computer.
Should go there, and then you should have life.
Turn it on.
Yes, that's also important, the power button.
And then any other accessories we have, like keyboard or just USBs. There's a mouse that I didn't take out, but that's fine.
And that should be coming on now with log. And we're on, and the password for this computer is 2014?
Apparently.
Is 2014. So that's all you need to know to get the power on the computer. We'll walk you through how to do it with the laptop in a second. But this right now, so the computer is ready for you to start setting up the cameras and the audio. So now we're going to take you through how to do the audio. Okay, so this is all the stuff that you need from the audio. It all came from this box. So purple cable, very important, as Ethan learned. This USB that connects it to the computer. Two headsets. This is for the commentators. Rolls box charger. This one's really easy to forget. The Rolls box charger is in this small pouch with the Rolls boxes, and the Rolls box won't work unless it's charging. And then you have the power cord for the audio board, which is also something people forget a lot. So now Daniel's gonna walk you through what to do here.
Alright, so the general rule is everything is plugged into power and everything is also plugged into the computer. So we'll start with the soundboard. The soundboard needs power, so that this plugs in the back like that. And then the outlet. And lights, I mean, that's good. See the power lights there. And then we need to connect it to the computer, so that's this green thing. Plugs in the back here. Okay, now the same thing for the Rolls box. it needs power first, so we have Paul's charger that plugs in the back here.
Yeah, looks a lot like the camera chargers do.
And again, the light should turn on if it's connected.
Again, sometimes it's a little hard to see outside as well. So if you're doing soccer, sometimes you have to put your hand over it like that.
And okay, so I lied, this one doesn't connect to the computer, but it does. That's what the purple cable's for. It connects between, so the Rolls box connects through the purple cable to the soundboard, and in the soundboard, phones. That's the one word you have to remember, phones. It's in a slightly different place in the other soundboard, but just the word phones is what you need to know.
Yeah, and that's something that people very often forget. The purple cable is very important. Don't forget it. If you're at this stage and something's not right, look first to the chargers, make sure that everything's charging, then make sure that it's connected to the computer, and then, last but not least, make sure that you have a purple cable. And now this is the headsets for the commentators.
All right, so the headsets have two parts. All right, so one end goes into the soundboard and one into the Rolls box, and you want to make sure they line up on the same channel so that they're both the first channel. And I can do the same thing for the other headset. But so if we look at these dials, in general you probably don't want to mess with them, but they sometimes get turned. Gain is essentially how staticky the microphone is. So if it's the higher the gain, the more it's going to pick up. Like it's going to find smaller volumes, sort of. Let's see. Level is just general how loud it is. The rest of the stuff we just leave in the middle. Don't know what it does. FX, we want to leave 0 because if you get like echoes in the computer, then probably one of the FX dials is turned incorrectly. Let's see. There are these two buttons. It's a 2 main mix and 2 phones control room. They should both. I think they should both be clicked. That sounds crazy.
And do you also want to show them how to mute it on the soundboard? So like for halftime when you don't want the mics picking up us talking.
Right, yeah, so we can take this dial. This is just the whole level pretty much, and turn it all the way down. No sound. If we turn it up, then you can hear it again. Hello, hello. Should be able to see the green lights going on when I'm talking to the microphone, so that's a good sign. And then on the Rolls box too, you can change the level. This level is how loud the commentators hear themselves in their own headset. So if it should be right around the middle, maybe 5. If they can't hear themselves, make sure this is turned up. If they're going deaf hearing themselves, then it's too high.
Awesome. So that's basically, we'll show you how to get that into the computer in a second, but that's basically what you have to do for audio. Alright, so here I attach the camera to the tripod. To get it out, you press this button and slide back. The tripod does a bunch of weird things. So this is a balance here. So you can see it's slightly off center. This may be hard to do with one hand, but you can grab this dial here and you can unscrew it. That allows you to move the entirety of the thing. Again, I'm not going to be able to get it perfect because I'm trying to do this with one hand, but Daniel can help. I'll tell him when it's in there. And then you just screw that tight. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. It's a good rule of thumb for JumboCast. You also have this dial here, which adjusts the freeness of it going up and down. This, if you're doing a scoreboard cam, is nice because it can lock it so that you can't move it. And then this thing here, you can also adjust the angle of the tripod arm. If you ever so need, which I don't, so I'm just gonna leave it. So yeah, that is a basic tripod. Now we're gonna show you how to set up the camera. So we showed you how to get the camera set up. Now this is everything that you need. Mini recorder. It's one per camera, so if you're running 2 cameras, you need double all of this. Mini recorder, lightning cable, this is for the computer. HDMI, you know what that does. Connects the camera to the mini recorder, and then a charger, because again, everything needs power. So firstly, Daniel's going to show you the charger. It's also important to note that there's 2 different types of camera chargers with 2 different types of cameras. This we call a square, that will plug in here, but there's also certain cameras that have their power on the back here, and it's like a little circle like the Rolls box charger, and that you just need the circular end to it. So Daniel's going to plug it in now.
Alright, so plug into power, and then
Hopefully it's long enough, yeah.
plug it in here,
We should have life, yeah.
and then press and hold the power button.
Say a
And
prayer.
it's on.
And the lens clamp is closed, so you operate that by this little switch here, and that opens it, and we have live. So we're gonna use this camera to show you how to set up a scoreboard camera in a second, so it's just pointing there. And now, Daniel.
Alright, so next we need to connect it to the computer, but it's a three-step process essentially. So we get the HDMI first. There's a normal size HDMI and the mini HDMI. The mini size goes into the camera. It says HDMI there, so.
Okay.
And then plug the other end into the mini recorder. And then on the other end of the mini recorder is the lightning or maybe Thunderbolt cable, if that's what it's technically called.
It's all a marketing scam anyway.
Yeah. And that plugs into the computer in one of these 6 slots. So we'll plug that in there.
Yeah, just match the lightning bolt on the cable to the lightning bolt on the thing. Very aesthetically pleasing.
And then if it's working, you should be able to see a little light
Inside of it.
inside the mini recorder, which is sometimes hard to tell.
Yeah, also mini recorders are infamously the bane of directors' existences in this club, because they're very, very fragile and you have to be careful with them, and if anything like bumps it or hits it or it falls, it almost definitely always breaks. So
Yeah.
We'll see now when we try to get it on. This could be a broken one.
There we
Oh,
go.
but you see the light, so it's not broken, it works. So now Daniel fired up the big old computer. So I'm just gonna give a quick recap here. This is all the physical setup you need. So you started out with this bad boy, the Mac. Then you have the monitor and the keyboard, so that's your base. Then you come back here to the audio. You have 2 headsets for the commentator, audio board, Rolls box, purple cable connected to what? Everybody at home, phones. And then you have this green cable connecting it to the computer, and you have a audio charger and a Rolls box charger. Then again for the camera, tripod, camera. Also important to note that we have different tripods that connect to different cameras, but all the bases can be taken off if you get the wrong one or camera that doesn't work. But it's really a lucky pick 'em and a cross your fingers kind of thing. And then we have the HDMI. We also have different length HDMIs for different setups. It's plugged into a mini recorder, which, as you know, if it's on, you should be able to see just a faint glow. And then we have a lightning cable plugged in, and at the end of the day, this is what the computer looks like. HDMI here to the monitor, power cord, this for the audio board, USB for the keyboard, and then a lightning cable for the mini recorder. So now, Daniel in this case is directing, and you're gonna look at the bottom for Wirecast 3. Every time that we update Wirecast, we don't like replace it, we just add a new one. So we're on 3 right now, and then it's gonna pop up with this screen, and you're gonna hit create empty document, because we don't want anything here. Welcome to the new Wirecast, it looks very sexy. I actually haven't seen it yet. So the first thing that you wanna do is you wanna add your camera or cameras, and you wanna add your audio.
So this is normally done in different layers. You normally have a layer for graphics, a layer for audio, and a layer for video. And Daniel, your preference is video on top, right?
So the reason we want different layers, right, is because if we have multiple shots on the same layer, then you can only show one at once. So for example, we'll have the camera.
So what did you do there? What did you do there?
Right, so I have, for any given layer, right, we can click this plus button, which adds a shot. This pops up. Video capture for the cameras. Mini recorder 1, that's what we want. If you have multiple, you should see mini recorder 1 and 2. If only one shows up but you have 2 plugged in, maybe make sure everything's plugged in correctly.
Yeah, or restart Wirecast.
Also that.
That'll be a big one, restarting Wirecast.
So if we click on this, hopefully we'll get video, and we do. Every time you add a camera, we never want the audio from the camera. We only want the audio from the soundboard. So we can go to, so we're on this shot, right? And then up here, there are some properties and different things you can click on. On the first one, there are 2, this one means whether or not it's visible. So, you know, we can hide it, but obviously it's a camera, so we want it visible. This is whether or not it gets sound, so we want to turn that off, and you can see this green means that it's no longer getting sound.
Yeah, so it's important. That's a good point. This is also something that a lot of newbie directors forget to do. And also, if you have multiple cameras on at the same time and multiple layers muted, you actually still do have to send them live.
Right.
When they're muted, because otherwise it'll keep playing sound. So 2 broadcasts that I did, there was a bunch of crowd noise, and I didn't know what was wrong because I had it muted here, but it was nothing. But as you can see now, nothing's actually live yet. So this isn't a problem at this stage. But after you mute it, no matter what you do, you have to click this guy here to send it live. So to make sure that your updates are actually being viewed by the viewer. And now, so that's our one camera in. So Daniel's gonna add audio now.
Yep, so we'll add audio on a different layer, right? So for reference, you know, if we added audio here as a separate shot on this same layer, then you could only ever hear the audio or see the camera, but not both. So we'll do it on this other layer. Doesn't matter if it's above or below. So the window pops up again. We get audio capture, and then we want this USB audio codec. It's just kind of a name for it. And then there it is. You can now test to see if it actually picks up anything. Hopefully it will. It's really quiet. So now I'm talking and you can see the green bar moving up, which is good. It works. Cool.
Through how to set up a basic scoreboard. This one, the director has to consistently update the score, so we'll show you how to do that as well. This is never our first choice. It's normally last resort if we can't get enough cameras or something, because it just takes a lot more diligence on the director's part, and can get a lot more confusing if you switch off for even a second, like in volleyball or something. So Daniel's going to walk you through how to do this.
Right, so we're going to add the scoreboard to the top layer because if we added it, say, down here, then the camera would be on top of it, so we wouldn't be able to see it. So we'll click Add here. I'll just search for scoreboard. There it is. So these are built-in ones from Wirecast. So you can change the type over here. They look a little bit different. You know, thin pipe shade. I don't like that one. All right, we'll stick with metal pipe. And then so you can see how all these text boxes correspond to the names of the teams and the scores. So we could say it's Tufts against
William Pyle.
Middlebury. And you know, we have the scores, and there's some nice ones, so you can just like click +1. Oops, I missed. And then it updates. And look, Tufts is winning by a lot. Yep, and then so we're gonna probably want to move it to the corner since we don't want it to cover up the entire screen. And then again, just like everything, we actually have to send it live. So
yeah, as you can see right now, this is what's actually broadcasting. That's why it says live. And so Daniel's gonna hit that arrow,
and then this will update with the scoreboard. So now that there is what the viewer sees. So any work that you do here is not is not actually what people are seeing. If you want to see what people are seeing, check this one. Okay, so that is a manual scoreboard. Now we're going to talk about our favorite scoreboard cam. So normally when you set up, you have a second camera for your scoreboard. I'm sure you guys will have seen it. Today we're using one camera and we're using it as a scoreboard cam, and we're going to pretend the score right now is 2-4.
Right.
So Daniel's going to show you how to do that now.
So if someone has made some graphics,
Which would be Trevor normally,
or me,
or Daniel, sorry.
So when we add the shot, right, we can click Add Media File.
That was just in the bottom left corner there.
Right, and then so there's all sorts of things. We'll find, I think Trevor made this Tufts LaSalle one. Yep. Super fancy. And again, we can move it, kind of put it near the bottom. Then if we want to actually add the scores on top of it, right, we'll go over here. And so this is within the same shot. You can add multiple kind of pieces within the same shot. Mm-hmm. So right now it's just the scoreboard. We can add though the same as before. We can add a video capture, and now we have the camera within this layer. It doesn't look the same since it's the same camera, but we'll show you in a sec. So we'll mute it as usual because we don't want the sound. We can make it smaller, and so this is this shot on the scoreboard layer, while this background is the actual camera. Now let's say we only want the two, right? So if we're on this shot, we can click on the far right button, which has 3 dots. Oh wait, I lied. Click on this one, shot layer properties, 3 lines, and we'll go down to crop. So this lets us just get a piece of the image. So if this left means we're cutting off part of it from the left. So you can see as I drag it, it cuts off more of the picture.
So we'll make Tufts have 4 first.
Okay, so we're gonna drag it to the 4. If it's not exact, you can click on like the numbers and get closer, but it doesn't really matter right now. We'll do the same thing from the right side. Oops. And then from the top. And then from the bottom. Okay, and now so you can scale it using these. If you want to scale it so that it doesn't necessarily keep the same aspect ratio, you can press and hold Shift, and then it'll squeeze it without doing that. So let's say I want it to fit into this small box, right? I can make it smaller and then move it. And then if I want to make it exact, I can actually just click on it. Like click on this X in the middle and then press on the arrow keys, and it'll move it left or right, or up or down. And then so in general, this is from the scoreboard in the gym, right? So we don't want it to look like that red kind of scoreboard color. So if we, underneath crop, there's color, and usually what we'll do is we'll make contrast all the way up and saturation all the way down, and you can see how it's changed. I'll make it bigger. So before, it looked like this, right? So contrast makes it kind of stand out more, the numbers stand out more, and then saturation so that we don't get the color, so it's just white. And that, you can mess with it, make it look however you like.
And now you do the same thing for the other number. So I'll have Daniel do it again. Right. So that right now at home, see if you can guess what he's about to do. Good guess.
That's right. You click the plus button.
It's like an episode of Dora the Explorer.
Right, so we're adding another one.
Again, what's the first thing you're going to do? At home, what should he do right now? I forget to do it all the time. Mute that layer. So he's going to hit this little mute button. If they're, like, what we call it, like gray and not yellow, they're muted, which is beautiful.
Okay, and then we'll just crop it. I'll just do that real quick. What's funny
because it's directly on top of each other. So he just cropped it. Now is scaling it down again so that it fits in the box. every once in a while you accidentally click the layer behind, and then it won't let you manipulate the score anymore. So Daniel, just do that like you just did.
Right, so if I click on this, right, now it thinks I'm back on the regular camera layer. So to get back to where I was, I'll go back to this scoreboard layer down here. And then go back to the shots, make sure I'm clicked on the right shot that I want, and you see now it's highlighted again, so I know I'm on the right shot. And then I'll go back to doing what I was doing with this. And then now if we want to change the color, what should we do next?
Is it contrast up, saturation down, or saturation up, contrast down? Good. Contrast up, saturation down. Think about it. You wanna pop in, but not on Saturday. So contrast up, saturation down. And then also you could rinse and repeat this process with like a quarter and like the time. So Daniel, actually, do you want to show them how to add text if you want to do quarter one? So this has to be updated manually. Again, so you go to scoreboard, add, and then you go to text, which all
text.
And so now you can just type.
Yeah, so, you can make it whatever color we want. Let's say it's a gradient. Look at that. Oh, that's just the background. Okay, and we'll say
Yeah, also normally you wouldn't do a gradient. Daniel just is feeling creative today.
Yeah, so you probably want no background, and then you can change the text color if, maybe you want it to be yellow so it stands out more, whatever you want.
All right, and the last step. What did we not do? Look at what's live right now. It's not what we're doing here. So Daniel's got to send it live.
Send it live, that's right.
And there you go. You have a scoreboard that will update automatically. I did a second shot to show you how to switch in between. So this is just that flipped upside down and we messed with the color. But so basically, right now, Daniel's looking at this. This could be a zoom camera. He's looking for something. Main camera's up here right now. Again, I don't know why the scoreboard's not live right now, so maybe send that live. All right, so main cam is there right now. Daniel's looking at the zoom. Lucas Pyle is on zoom cam. He's screaming, "Oh, I got a shot," and you want to satisfy him. So while you're looking at this, how do you guys send it live?
The send it live button.
And now it's live, and now you realize Lucas was lying to you, and you want to get back to the main cam. You click down there, as he did. That's how you click in between the cameras. You just like literally click on them. And then when you're on that one, Lucas Pyle's a liar, and you send it live, and you're back on the main cam. So that's how you switch in between the zoom cam and the main cam.
Yeah, and just for ease, if you're going to do a lot of switching, you can set up these keyboard shortcuts. So like let's say this, I'll unmap them real quick. Let's say this is the main cam, so I'll set it to be 1. And then here, keyboard shortcut, zoom 2. And what that allows is I can just press on the keyboard 1 or 2 and it'll switch in the preview. And then if I ever want to send it live, I can just hit enter. Now it's live, so I can switch between them pretty easily without having to click the button.
Nice. Also, when we added the camera, let's test Daniel's directing skills here. He muted it. Good boy. All right, so now we're going to show you output settings, I believe. So guys, well, congratulations, you got this far. You're set up, 2 cameras, you got a scoreboard, looks fly as hell, but now how do we get it to YouTube? So, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go up to output settings, and now it's gonna ask you this, where do you want it? Destination, you're gonna go all the way down to YouTube. We have actually tried Twitch before, that was funny. Click OK. And now it's gonna need you to log in because you can't just stream to a random channel. So you hit authenticate, and then it's the JCAST that has the our logo. Wirecast, yeah. You hit yes. Huge invasion of privacy, but who cares? And then it's gonna tell you close this browser and return to Wirecast. So it'll take a second, but it should authenticate. It's it says username. And so now you have to search for an event that your lovely programming director, Jarrett Davis, will have created for you on time. So we don't have any events right now, so the event is just JumboCast live stream, but say it's like Babson versus Tufts basketball, you're going to click this drop down arrow, and then you'll see Babson versus Tufts basketball. And then you hit OK. So that connects to YouTube, but you're still not live yet. When you send it live, there's one button that you need to press, and that's this little Wi-Fi looking thingy. So you click that, and you should be live.
Still have to send it live from YouTube.
Well, yeah, like you Wirecast, you're all done. So now, Daniel, do you want to go to YouTube and show them here? So first you have to type in YouTube. Ignore Mr. Beast's recommended videos. Go to YouTube Studio. And then you go to videos. You're going to go to the event under live that you had selected before. See JumboCast live stream. We're going to make it private because we don't want people tuning in. Our loyal fan base would. You can update the description if you want. Not really. But now you're going to want to go to the live control room, which was that button that Daniel just clicked. It's going to say live streaming. You're in this like YouTube studio.
It's actually live already.
Yeah, I told you it was live.
You should have to press go live here.
No, it's a new Wirecast update. But
Really?
on the off chance that you do, where it says end stream right now, it's going to say go live. And then you just click that. We got one concurrent viewer. Everything's roses. You are now live on YouTube doing your first broadcast. Congratulations, Daniel. You want to hit end stream there. So you can end the stream here, or you can just undo the... or also you should undo the Wi-Fi looking button on Wirecast, which Daniel will do now. Oh, I missed that, but this used to be green. It's not anymore. And yeah, you just broadcast your first game.